Good afternoon, guys. How's everyone doing this nice old sunny afternoon? We can't moan, can we, for October, eh? Welcome to my channel, guys, Joey Barnett TV. Now, I'm going to try and keep the glare out of the screen a little bit. But yeah, I'm aware of my glasses, which cause a little glare. And the reason why I wear glasses is because I'm long-sighted. So when I read a newspaper, I've got to hold it away from me. And yeah, I'll read comments and bits and pieces like that. So that's why I wear glasses, guys. Don't wear them when I'm driving. Only when I'm reading comments or reading newspaper or reading a letter, anything like that. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit. Welcome to my channel, guys, Joey Barnett TV. I hope everyone's doing well. I really do. I hope you're being the best version of yourself. I hope you're being lucky. I hope you're in the best of health, the best of wealth. And yeah, I hope you're doing really well in life. I really, really do. Now, I do get asked this question quite a lot, and I've never ever really unravelled the truth, open a can of worms up for myself, and it's about time that I did, because it's a struggle. What I'm going to mention to you next is a struggle. It really is, and that is how to break the cycle of being a thief, an ex-armed robber, a former criminal that committed crimes for a good part of 3.5 decades. My first previous conviction was at the age of 11. I'm now age 55, and I didn't stop committing crimes until I was in my late 40s, guys. So I'm a prime example that I know I keep bashing on about this. But yeah, I'm a prime example that we can change if you want to do it hard enough. You've got to want to do it yourself. You know, you can go to counselling, you can read books, you can study things on the computer, you can do most things in life when it comes to changing your mindset and changing your lifestyle. But ultimately, it's you what's got to want to do it up bad enough. And when you decide to knock it on the head and lay your cards on the table and say, right, I want to change my life, you will find life really is much better. The opportunities that I get given now on a day-to-day basis is on another scale. I did not get these opportunities when I was bang at it years and years ago. Actually, people wanted to swerve me by all cost, because, I was on the, I was either tapping them for money or up to one thing or up to another. I'm not saying my family ever give up on me, because my family never did. But anyone outside of my family, they swerved me. They really did swerve me, because, as I said, I was always into a bit of skullduggery. So, was it hard now? This is the question. Was it hard to change my mindset? Was it hard to change my lifestyle? I'll tell you what, guys, let me just tell you one thing. This was one of the most hardest things that I've ever had to do in my life, was to learn how to say no. Because, as I said in my previous videos, the temptations, the triggers, what I was getting on a day-to-day basis from old criminal associates was on another level. And now, the way I look at it now, all these years later, as a reformed person, these people what was trying to pull me back to the table, they wasn't my friends, they wasn't my mates. They was just people, like criminals, that was jealous and that wanted a piece of me, because, that's how I was back then. And they knew full well that anything they went on with me, they was going to get a right few quid out of, and a good percentage of the chances you'd be getting away from it too, from whatever bit of work we was going on, guys. But yeah, breaking the cycle of being an armed robber, I must admit, was, sorry about that, guys, was just as, let's sort this selfie sticker out, was just as hard as beating probably drug addiction, beating any gambling addiction, beating any addiction in life. That was the hardest thing to beat, one of the hardest things to beat, sorry, was to stop going across the pavement, to stop being an armed blagger, to stop being an armed robber, and to break that cycle. I can't stress enough how hard it was. It really, really was. And, not just an armed robber neither. You could be a burglar, you could be a petty thief, you could be a shoplifter. There's a number of things you can be as a criminal. And I think you'll all find that we're all on the same boat in that situation where it's very hard to say no, you know. But all these years later, I look back on it and I think to myself, you know, I wasted 3.5 decades in jail, man. And all that time what I wasted in jail, I just can't get them years back. I really can't. They're gone. They're part of the history. They're part of my history. And yes, you know, it is part of my history, what shaped the person what I am today, what's made me the person what I am today. But I must admit, there's not many about of my era what are still here to tell the tales with a good head on their shoulders, or what are not doing a life sentence, or what are not addicted to drugs. For those that think committing crimes and taking drugs is glamorous, I'll tell you something now. When you get into jail, you're going to be in the pits of hell. That's what I can say to you. You know, don't matter how powerful you are out on the street, how much clout you've got on the street, you know, how many runners you've got on the street, or whatever you've got on the street. Once you go to jail, you're just a number, and that is it, you know. Because, for instance, if you're a so-called hard man outside of jail and you go to jail with that same attitude, with that same thing about around you, like you think that you're untouchable, you're going to come really unstuck really, really, really quickly. Because, as I say, everyone's on the same boat in jail. No one's better than no one. And for those that think they're better than anyone in jail, quickly get rinsed out, quickly get served up, and quickly get put back into their place. You know, I know so many so-called hard man. What was chaps back in the day? They really was chaps. But, you know, I've seen him getting good hidings in jail. And once they get a good hiding in jail, they climb underneath a rock, and it brings them back down to reality. So don't ever think that going to jail or committing crimes or taking drugs is glamorous, because, as I said, you know, you're going to waste a lot of your life in jail. And if you've got a family around you, you know, people what you care for, people what love you, people who you love, you know, surely you've got to put them first. You've got to think about the consequences of your actions. And I didn't think about none of this. You know, this is why I'm stressing it now to you guys, because I didn't think about the consequences of my actions. And there is a reason why I didn't. You know, I did to a certain degree know what was going to happen if I got caught. You know, being an armed robber, you know, when you get caught, you're going to get a double-figure sentence, especially if you've got firearms. And to me, as an armed robber, you must be getting nicked with firearms to be an armed robber. You know, you get these fools what carry knives that go into you know, news agents and these silly little places like petrol garages and things like that, you know, and they rob them and run off with the loot. They're not armed robbers to me. They're really not. They're just, you know, I'm not being horrible when I say this, but they're two bob, and they're the lowest of anyone in the criminal fraternity. They really are, you know, because my morals, my way of thinking was, not morals, my way of thinking was, you know, whatever you do in life, you've got to be the best version of yourself. So I was an armed robber. So I was the best version of an armed robber, i.e. going to banks, going to post offices, going to building societies and robbing the places where the money, the hardcore money really, really is. And a part of me did used to tell myself that, you know, by robbing these places, you know, they get, I know, I do not now know that, you know, I must have put the fear of God into them by pointing shotguns in their faces and pointing shotguns in their head and letting shots off in the roofs on quite a lot of my armed robberies. You know, I understand now, and I've got plenty of remorse about it. I really have. But I understand I put the fear of God into them, and I'm not glamorising it in any way, shape or form. What I'm saying to you guys is that's the person what I was then. I'm not that person now. Thank God I'm not that person too, because of I feel blessed, I feel grateful, and I feel lucky to be alive here to tell you the tales today. Because as I said to you just now, going back on my video, there's not many of my era what are still here to tell the tales. you know, in a good frame of mind, and people ain't lost the plot. And I haven't lost the plot, not yet. Well, I don't think I have anyway, guys. But yeah, I was in a gang. I'm not going to glamorise it, but yeah, I was in a gang. I wasn't under any duress, or wasn't, you know, I freely went into the gang, and the gang what I went into was from Southwest London, and it was literally the boys who I was brought up with from my estate, and we formed into a gang. I suppose there was 10 of us in a gang, but there, you know, we had outreach people, what I call outreach, which was part of our firm, but from a different manner. So we was from Tooting, Streatham, Mitcham, all round that way, Brixton, but we had people all round Southwest London. So yeah, they was what I call our associates, and yeah, man, it's really hard to break that cycle. It really is, because as I said to you on my last video, you know, say for instance that I was going to do a security van, which 9 times out of 10, that's what we was targeting. And when we weren't doing vans, we was going in having a demand up over the counters. And when I say demand up over the counters, that would have been banks and post offices and building societies, not news agents, not petrol garages, not a grocery store. You know, if you do things like that, you know, you, at the end of the day, you deserve to be caught. You really do, because that's, you know, you're mocking really armed robbers and blaggers, the true armed robbers and the true blaggers, like I was, guys. I'm not proud to call myself an armed robber. I ain't. But what I am proud of is living that lifestyle which I led, and changing my life after the life what I led. I'm proud of that. I really am, and I'm a proud person to make my family proud now. Because, you know, they never give up on me, and it was them what used to visit me all around the country. It doesn't matter where I was, what prison I was in, my family was there for me. And nowadays, you know, it's a pleasure to be able to help them, and they're watching me flourish, you know, and it's made them so happy, and it's made me so proud as a man to have changed my life. And now, you know, I give my life, I dedicate my life to my family, I dedicate my life to my missus, and to our new little grandson Luca, what we've got. And yeah, life is absolutely great. You know, I've got a new truck here, which I'm doing the recording. I've got a lovely motocross bike. You know, I've got nice collateral around me. I've got lovely things around me. None of these things I didn't have years ago, you know. And this time, what I've got around me, I've actually earned myself. And I put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into it. And it's took me many years to get to the place where I am today. Whereas years ago, the money come in easy and it went out easy. Dirty blood money, you know, it's not right. It really isn't right, and it doesn't feel the same. Now I'm able to put my head on that pillow, sleep really well, you know, not look over my shoulder, not thinking, is my door going to go through? And I know that when I'm out and about, people actually want to be around me because I give off good vibes. You know, I'm a nice person in life, and I like helping other people, guys. That's the reason why I'm doing these videos for you guys, is because I do like helping other people. Hope you enjoy my content, guys, and yes, I'm back. So have a good day, whatever you're doing, and keep yourself nice and safe. No doubt I'll be back at you again soon. Peace.